Hello and welcome everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about how to make sure that the different tracks that are being played at the same time communicate with each other in a call and response fashion, but not on the composition level but on the effects level. You will see what I mean, but first of all let me show you the beat. So here we have this guitar that sounds kind of phasey. And at the same time we have this bass line which sounds kind of dark. And it's also being ducked by the drums, and that makes it kind of sound pumpy when we are playing it in solo, just so you know. Now I already prepared this chain for the bass line, and that's a very important part of this trick if you are using Bitwig. But what I'm going to show you now, you can also do that in any other DAW. It will just be more complicated because it then uses more than one automation. My goal is to essentially just map this macro parameter to lots of modulations that will put the bass line a little bit more into the foreground so that I can dial it in on the motifs that stick out a little bit. In order to do that, before writing an automation, I will just turn it up completely so I can define that sound. I already have some effects on this track, so I think I will just use the effects that I already have here to craft this sound. For example, my effect chain begins with a multiband split that splits the signal into the low band and the high band, and I will just increase the volume of the high band for the more foregroundish bass tone. Okay, nice. Another thing that I could do is just changing the mix level of this ladder filter. Okay, let's call this macro the foreground macro or whatever, and then we can write an automation clip. Now we just have to find out all of the places where the bass line does something interesting, and everything else will be the low point. For example, when there is a slide, there could always be some point of interest. Let's see how that would feel. See, so that kind of works. It's really nice to have these knarzige, in Germany we would say knarzige sounds in the foreground. Boom, chaka chaka boom. This one has a little bit excitement on it, but it's like just one note. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe just one point in it. No, that's not good. Let's see the whole. Okay, that's nice. This needs to be a little bit earlier this time. Oh, let's listen to this a little bit closer. Okay, this definitely needs to be down here. And then there is this line. Oh yeah, that's a nice line. Right? We cannot miss that. Okay, before going on, let's just listen to this section again and just try to fine tune it, just so we know how good this can be. This comes a little bit late, I think. This comes a little bit early, I think. Or maybe the transition is just too hard. Let's see. This transition is a bit hard. Then it's too muffled. Okay, it's good when it goes a little bit into the sound. Because one gotta see it is being sidechained anyway, so even if it comes a little bit slower to the lowest point, it is being ducked out of the way, and then it does sound like the sounds go into each other. That's the good thing. On Facebook, I am always in all of these silly production groups where the people discuss production topics, and they always make posts like, what is better, sidechaining or EQing, or this or that, or and I just think like, why don't you just do all of these at the same time, you know? This one comes too abrupt. Oh, no, that has to come a little bit earlier. Nice one. Now I'm wondering if I can just take the whole thing and copy it over to the next bars, or if this will require some more advanced handling. I do think I cannot just do that. I really shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be lazy here, because this is all hand played. It was made in a jam style, so when you start writing automation on something that is a jam, then your automation also needs to live up to the standards of the jamminess. Let's check out what was on the beginning. Okay, so I think it makes sense to just start with a soft sound. There is a little bit of a break here. Okay, that's very subtle, but we take it. There is a slide in here that could potentially sound good. Yes, sir. Damn, that sounds so much better than I even anticipated myself. Now, in the last loop, I wouldn't have taken this thing as the part of the foreground thing, but maybe I should just go a little bit harder to kind of emphasize on this function, but maybe not, because there is still enough stuff left, and at some point I will not be able to just go even further with it. Let's see. Now I should really keep it simple here. One should always acknowledge that actually listening to the music as the completed song is not something that takes hours. So the perception when making the music needs to keep that in mind while making decisions. Okay, that was a nice drop on that note. Oh no, did I lose this? Okay, in that case, Chang. Nice one. Fast muffle. What do we have here? Do 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 do. Nice one. Okay, I can't hear shit here in this area, so let's just have it on. Now this is a bit more tricky because these are all not too motivish notes, but maybe we can pull one of these out sometimes. Maybe that does something cool because it's like a micro slide. No, that's too much and too pronounced, too obvious. Now let the body come in at that note. I kind of like that there is a very long section that even though it doesn't do anything interesting in terms of motif after this long phase of not much happening, it's like the final release of this section at least. Let's see how it feels complete. This one is too short. This one is too abrupt. This one is too... Now, I mean, it's too long, but also too less smooth. Okay. Maybe we can actually add some more interesting stuff here. Like a little section of nothing. And then it goes up again. And the same thing here. Okay, that's actually good. Now this really starts to live up to the jam vibe. What the fuck was that? No, that sounds too much like a frog. We can't do that so slow. No, wrong. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Okay, let's see how that goes into the next part. Actually, this bass decays too much in this area. Nice. That sounds... Now I like the froggy sound in this case because it kind of sounds like the bass is breathing. There is something that I don't like about this yet. But nothing has to be perfect at the first try. No, that makes no sense. Kinda doesn't have the same quality as the ones before. There is a kick drum at that point anyway, so we don't really need this sound. Okay, so definitely I should do the same process with individually figuring out each note for the rest of the bass line as well, but that would just be a repetition of the things that I already did for this video. So instead of doing that, let's just listen to the whole section that we already made again, but this time in full so that we can hear the whole context, and then we can all together brainstorm about how that makes us feel and what else could be done and stuff like that. I must just say, the kick is definitely too boomy for me. I know it's a really warm kick and it's cool that it's kind of boomy, but it's kind of going slightly too far. And when it comes to the bass line, yeah, I think this is a cool technique to just get it to, you know, sometimes jump out for the special moments and then just put itself into the background again to make more space for the guitar stuff. Also later when I'm dialing in the vocals, which I didn't do yet, I think it will make a big difference when the things are just only sometimes jumping out and usually put themselves into the background where they belong to make space for the vocal. And my philosophy with that is the more you are contrasting these moments with each other, the more you also put yourself in a position where you can actually give the sound a very muffled and deep bass tone. Because if there was just one sound and not one that changes sometimes, then you would have to find a compromise in this sound between staying out of the way of the vocals and having the cool moments still being audible. But just by automating these moments to the foreground, you allow yourself to put the bass sound out of the way much more. That's how I feel about this technique, and that's why I wanted to share it with you all.